How y'all doing? Working on Project Rusty. My buddy, the customer, wants to get everything off that's going off, get replaced, get rid of the junk, which means this brake setup, emergency brake cable. He's gonna come in here tomorrow and start wire wheeling the frame. So I gotta get this stripped off, and I figured, why not video it? I'll tell you a little about rear brakes. Some of you may know this already, some of you may not. Right in here is the rear wheel cylinder. When you step on the brake, it pushes fluid, makes the brake shoes come out. These big heavy springs pull them back in. These little springs hold them on there. This little doolammy down here is a self-adjuster. This bar that runs through here, I don't know if you can see any of this or not because this is in the way, but anyway, that's part of the emergency brake. When you step on the emergency brake, this pushes both shoes out. This little cable looking thing here, around this little doohickey, when you're backing up around the farm and stepping on the brake, this thing kind of rocks back and forth and will adjust the brakes. Probably in a way, you know, I don't know. Well, anyway, I see people struggling with these, using cutter pliers, diagonals, lineman pliers, common pliers, vice grips, channel locks, screwdrivers, hammers, when really all you need is these two tools, which back in my day, you could just go into any parts store and buy them under 15 bucks for the pair of them. And it makes the job so much easier. This end of the tool, you put on here, and you pop the spring off. And you pop the spring off. Just like that. To put it back on, you use the other end of the tool and just go like this. Easy peasy. Instead of all this fighting and craziness with the, you know, get the right tool. If you're gonna do this, spend the 15 bucks, buy the damn tool. Now, I know they sell them at Hobo Freight. Well, anyway, you use this, peel these off. I don't know why people think drum brakes are so intimidating. That's the little doolammy I was talking about. It holds the cable, and that cable is attached down here to another little bracket. I'll show you that, and another spring. Anyway, comes out. Like I said, these guys, you use this little fancy tool, and all that is like a pin, a nail, with a flat spot on the end of it, and these little keepers. So you got to put your finger back there. Oh yeah, they're rusted on there. They don't want to come off very good, do they? I'm going to step in front of you because I need leverage. There we go. There we go. See how it's got that little square kind of rectangular hole? And all it is like a nail or a pin. Usually they got a number on the end, tells you the length, which just got that little flat spot on it, and it hooks through that little hole. And this tool, you can see what you're doing. Push in, unhook it. Now, before I get too far, go on the side. Can you still see? This is where the emergency brake cable, the lever arm hooks on. Sometimes they just have like a C-clip. In this case, they got like, oh, it's a C-clip, but you got to squeeze it with a pair of pliers. And this can be a bit of a pain in the butt to get off. I usually use a pair of like snap ring pliers, screwdriver, chisel. Normally when you get a new hardware set, you get a new one of those, so if you screw it up. But But in the meantime, I'll take this one off. I just wanted to point that out so I think you can see that. Ay, caramba. There we go. Oop, it's gonna fall off yet. Oh well. There's another spring down here. Get ready to pop its ugly head out. See the other spring? This is the adjuster. Of course, it's rusted solid shut. Got some work to do there. Brake shoe. This little guy that hooks into a hole. A cable comes down and hooks in here. And that other spring helps pull everything back together. And this is rusted on there. This is the push rod for the, dang it, that thing's really starting to get on my nerves. Get off of there. Rusted on. When you push on the emergency brake pedal or pull up, this pushes both the shoes out. Because there's this arm here that's connected to the cable, which is froze up also. And there's that clip that I was telling you that can give you a bit of a pain in the butt. Now we are replacing the emergency brake cables because they are frozen up. So I'm going to pull that off, and I'll deal with all this later. Now, the emergency brake cable. That can be a real pain in the butt, especially if you want to reuse it and if you need to take it out. I've seen guys struggle for hours trying to get these out. Well, I'm going to show you a quick trick. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Drink when you go. All right. Now I'll show you this. I'll show you this when I get it out. There's little tangs that thing goes in and gets jumps out like a spider almost. And I've seen people struggle with like putting pliers, screwdrivers, trying to get them to compress to pull that out. I have found a simple box wrench, either a 9/16 or 1/2 inch. In this case, it's 1/2 inch. You slide it over the end of it. Bring her back up in here. You may have to help it with the hammer. And it comes right out. There are those little prongs that I was talking about. I've seen guys struggle with trying to get them to compress for hours, and I ain't even food line. And what, it took me about 18 seconds to get that out? But we are replacing these because they will not move. I've been soaking them down for a week or so. And then we're gonna replace this wheel cylinder. Save these guys. And there's 2 bolts back here. We've already removed the lines, or my buddy has. So that's what we've been doing. I got the shocks off earlier this week, and he's came by several times this week and got all the brake lines stripped off, the fuel lines stripped off, a bunch of busy work, nasty, rusty work. And like I said, he's coming over tomorrow to do some more. So I figured we're going to pull the tank out tomorrow. We're replacing that as well. So I figured I'd give you a quick update. The shocks, every one of them, I had to get the torch on the nuts to get them off. They were on there, and I still wound up breaking one of them. Dang it. Excuse me, I'm coming cut off in front of you. But I do want to show you something. Speed hole. I don't think you're going to be able to see what I'm going to show you, but that is the top shock mount right there. And that's basically a stud that sticks through that bracket, comes out the other side, might be 3/4 of an inch round stock with threads on the end, and the shock slides over it. Well, this side was nut and bolted. And I think this person must have got a welder for Christmas. Look at that. Look at that thing. I don't know what this, it is some kind of, I'm not going to crack on the guy. That looks like maybe a nut up in there or something. I've done some pretty nasty gorilla welds in my time. But that thing is, ugh. As you can see, this side of the frame has actually been scuffed down a little bit with the wire wheel. Let me show you something else up here. Like I said, I think this guy got a welder for Christmas. Look at that. Now that's some welding there, baby. My pop would have called that gorilla weld. Ugly but strong. And I don't understand why they welded all this. This is a bolt-on piece. The bumpers were welded on. I don't know. Every time I work on this thing, I get a chuckle. But this rail, he's done a little work on that one too. But anyway, that's what's going on with Project Rusty. Now, another job I got to do today is all my clean parts. When he gets the wire wheeling, this place is going to have rusty dust going everywhere. So I need to get all my parts that are nice and clean, covered up, hidden away, something. I don't know. But we're going to get her done one way or another. Old Project Rusty's coming along. She's looking good. She's looking real good. Now, he did actually say something the other day about taking the transmission out. And I was like, But the more I think about it, it's going to make it easier for me to seal it up because it's leaking in a whole bunch of places. And it'll make it easier for him to clean the frame and all that. And it might even make it easier for me to put floor pan replacements in. I can get on both sides of it. So, that's what's going on here in the shop on Project Rusty. Starting to get a heck of a pile of scrap metal. Neighbor like that. All right, kids. I want to thank everybody for watching. Tune in next week, and you'll see what we got done. I hope somebody learned something about brakes, but probably not. All right, heard it first, right here on Roller Derby. See ya!